And on today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing the SmartCare Essential Plans by AXA. As you can see here, there's several highlights to these plans. The first is that they can cover medical expenses up to 10 million Thai baht per illness, which is an adequate level of coverage. Second highlight is that they can cover both inpatient and outpatient cancer treatment on an inpatient-only plan, which is a really good benefit to have. They also have an optional wellness benefit, which can cover vaccinations, checkups, dental and optical care. They have various deductible options to reduce premium. This is a real key selling point of these plans, as we will come on to later. You can see how you can save money on premiums by using a deductible. These plans are renewable up to the age of 99, and they have a cash benefit in case you use the government health system as opposed to using the plan. And again, we can come on to that in a minute. So as you'll see, there are 4 plan options, plans 1 through to plan 4. Plan 4 covers 10 million Thai baht per illness. Plan 1 only covers 1 million baht per illness. So normally when we recommend these plans to our clients, it's plan 4 that we recommend purely off the back of it being 10 million bahts worth of cover, which is adequate. The lower level plans might be useful if you're using the plan as a top-up to some existing corporate insurance. Now, these plans cover non-intensive care units. That's a standard hospital room ranging from 3,000 baht per night up to 12,000 baht per night. So for plan 4, that's perfectly adequate for most of the leading international hospitals, even in Bangkok. The intensive care unit allowance ranges from 6,000 Thai baht per night up to 24,000 baht per night. Inpatient medical fees paid in full under all plans. Physician's examination fee is capped on the first 2 plans and paid in full on plans 3 and 4. And surgical fees on an inpatient basis are paid in full under all of those plans. Something which might be viewed as a negative on these plans is that the medical fee for organ transplantation is not covered under any of the plans. So if you are looking for coverage for organ transplantation, this may not be the best option for you. Now, one of the things I really like about AXA plans are the non-inpatient benefits. So these are outpatient expenses which AXA will cover even if you have an inpatient-only plan. So some examples of this are examination fees 30 days before and after an inpatient hospitalization. So if there's any expenses in terms of going to see the doctor in the run-up to a surgery or going to see the doctor in the follow-up to a surgery, they will be covered, provided it's 30 days pre and 30 days post the inpatient hospitalization. This is a key benefit here with AXA in that they will cover accident fees within 24 hours of an accident. So under plan 4, that's paid in full. It's capped under the other plans, but this is a good benefit to have because a lot of insurers require that you have outpatient benefits if you want coverage for accidents, whereas AXA don't. So that's a real selling point of these plans, in my opinion. Cancer obviously is something which everyone is concerned about, and under these plans, the medical fees for treating cancer by radiotherapy, radiology, nuclear medicine are paid in full, okay, even if you have an inpatient-only plan. And to add as well that chemotherapy is also covered in full under all of those plans. So this is without the outpatient benefits, just inpatient benefits. You have full coverage there for cancer. Ambulance fees paid in full on plans 3 and 4, capped on the first 2 plans, and fees for minor surgeries are paid in full under each of the 4 plans. Now, in terms of outpatient benefits, there's 2 options here. If you decide to take the outpatient benefits, you can have either a 3,000 baht per visit cap, which is limited to 30 visits per year, or you can have a 50,000 baht overall limit per year for outpatient. Normally when I speak to people, it's the 50,000 baht per year limit which we recommend, purely because there are lots of outpatient procedures which can cost more than 3,000 baht. Now, the wellness benefit that we mentioned earlier in the highlights, it's a 3,000 baht cap, so it's quite a low level of wellness coverage, but nevertheless, that is better than no cover at all. It's subject to a 6-month waiting period, and after the 6-month waiting period, you can claim for vaccinations, health checkups, optical care, or dental treatment, up to 3,000 baht per year. Now, some of the key conditions with this plan. So it's eligible for applicants between 15 days old up to 65 years old. And it says here that children under 18 must apply with at least one parent. So you can't use this plan for children on their own. There needs to be at least one parent on the policy, and the children need to be dependents. This is an important thing to take into consideration, is that during the first 30 days of the plan, only accident is covered. So general illness is subject to a 30-day waiting period, and also illnesses such as cancer are subject to a 120-day waiting period. This is pretty standard among Thai-based insurers having these conditions. So it's really important that you understand this at the front end, that there is these conditions in place. Pre-existing conditions are not covered. This is the same as any health insurance plan out there. Unless they offer to cover your pre-existing conditions, they will not be covered. And it's point 9 is worth taking note of in terms of certain occupational groups. So, for example, if you work offshore, if you're working in a risky profession, AXA may well decline your application. So, if you're concerned about this, speak to your broker or the agent and find out if your occupation is on that list of ones which AXA may decline. Now, this is where this plan starts to get interesting, in my opinion. So firstly, they have family discounts, which range from 5% to 10%, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a great discount, but it's good to have. This is where these plans really stick out from the market, and that is the discount that they offer for a deductible. So it depends on your age. So the younger you are, the higher the discount. But as you'll see here, so if you're between 0 and 40 years of age, a 20,000 Thai baht deductible per illness will save you 45% on your inpatient premium. If you increase that to 40,000 baht per illness, that increases it to 55%. So a deductible is an amount that you have to pay first before the insurance kicks in. So in the case of 40,000 baht, you'd need to pay the first 40,000 baht, and then the insurance takes over. And that in turn will save you 55% on your premium. So as you'll see here, it goes all the way up to 85% for a 200,000 baht deductible. So people who are just using the policy for the worst case scenarios, this is a great thing to take advantage of in order to reduce the overall premiums. And lastly, no claims discounts. So AXA offer a 5% discount after each policy year if you haven't made any claims. So that's nice to have. And then here just talks about the access to AXA's telehealth, which is a good way of accessing medical care if you've got a minor illness and you don't want to be going to the hospital. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me directly, darren@seek2insure.com. I'd be more than happy to speak to you on a one-to-one basis to answer your questions. Many thanks. Bye-bye now.